So this was a deck that we were playing a lot of before MH3 came out. Haven't played it since. Recently, a new card came out that I think improves the archetype a decent amount. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. We've tried Overlord in the regular mono green devotion deck. It was like okay there. It is definitely a lot better here. Kind of simply, it's an enchantment, and all enchantments cantrip in the deck. And maybe on like a lesser extent, just having like an extra win condition in the shell is pretty nice. But this is kind of the other Leyline Scion deck, where you have Leyline Scion as a way to protect your stuff, as a way to be very good against Dimir, Boros. But your Leylines are also enchantments that cantrip, and because we're like in a mostly green enchantments here, and we have this like quadruple green enchantment, we get to be very in on Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. And having a secondary big mana engine to complement the Sanctum Weaver. Sanctum Weaver taps for 1 mana for each number of enchantments you control. Nykthos taps for devotion. And so it's cool that you have 8 ways to just make a ton of mana and to use Sythis and Enchantress Presence to just cantrip through your deck, turn through your deck, and then make some big stuff with Destiny Spinner. And then, so Overlord of the Hauntwoods like really ties the room together very well, because also it gives you Domain, giving you a everywhere land token. And what's really nice about that is you don't have to play 2 extra tap lands. It used to be that you would play 2 Triomes to facilitate Binding and Scion, and having 3 tap lands in the deck was really shitty. It's just like, I would lose a lot of games just having the extra tap lands. But now, the way the deck is built, you have 8 ways to get Domain. Funny enough, like Leyline Binding is also like, for a 4 mana, obviously it's not very good, but if you just have like Sanctum Weaver going or Nykthos, it's not like that out of the question to hard cast. But it's, especially with the cantrips, it's just very consistent. You're going to have Domain without having all these extra tap lands. I would lose just so many games, especially with the Utopia Sprawl. So it's just so awkward. So it does that. You can also just hard cast this card on turn 2 if you have a Utopia Sprawl, a Leyline, and a Nykthos. Just being able to play a turn 2 6/5 ramping every turn is really cool. And also, like, I found so far in my testing that just putting a bunch of extra lands into play is really nice with the Destiny Spinner, because then you just have more lands to like pump with the spinner to like get lethal. It's like weirdly relevant. So I've been liking it. And the sideboard we're playing, we also get to be a quad Rest in Peace deck, which is like really, really nice. Not very many decks get to play. Rest in Peace card is very strong. Blood Moon very strong. Stony Silence is mostly for the Belcher matchup. I'm going to bring it in also against all of the Talisman decks, all the Talisman Ring decks, and Affinity is weirdly there. Then Seal can come in against like Titan against mostly Titan Belcher, Affinity. There's one other. Domain Zoo. Domain Zoo also is why we're playing for Seal of Primordiums. Kind of the mirror. Okay, so let's get in there. And scales. Okay, this hand is sick. This hand is incredible. Draw an Overlord, can cast it on turn 2. I feel like having good Boros matchup should be so easy. Yeah, it's not as easy as you might think, but my opponent says, guess who's there? I don't know how to respond to this, so I think I may just not. Their deck doesn't interact at all. Well, they have like 8 premium removal spells and Blood Moons. And this could be Boros with like Skyclave Apparition, which has been like a little bit more popular lately. So I'm just going to play this, name green. And then I'm going to go next turn, Enchantress Presence into Sanctum Weaver. Maybe this is Living End. Okay, maybe this is Titan. Oh, okay, this is Scales. Modern is fun. Could be anything. All right, I play Enchantress Presence. I play Sanctum Weaver. I draw a card. You will live. Sanctum Weaver, you're going to live. Now I know what my opponent's saying. Guess who's there? The Heart and Scales Discord. Take a fiber gummy. Why do you think Blue Wizards fell off the map recently, being a semi-popular tier 2 deck? What does it need to get back there? What Wizards needs is a clean, main deckable answer to Flage. That's just a good card to play in the archetype. That's good against the rest of the format. That just incidentally answers Flage. That's what it needs. I was thinking about main decking Relic of Progenitus or something, but Seems pretty tough. Are they gonna do like the 1 mana put a counter on Ballista? No, they're gonna play an Emery. Okay. Emery. Yeah, this is like the Mr. Seri build. Flage is just so like as much as like people talk about Flage being like this really, really difficult to deal with card. That dynamic is very true for for Wizards. You just almost can't deal with it. It is very, 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 very bad. Okay, so here I think I want to tap for white, then activate my Nykthos, and then do some digging for some Leyline Bindings. So we get Leyline Scion going too. This is our turn 3. Hopefully we find at least one Leyline Binding. Okay, so far no Leyline Bindings in the top 28. Second Enchantress Presence might actually be too many cards. I think I'm just going to cycle Sythis. There we go, there's one. Now I want to get rid of the Emery because the Ozolith is in the yard. We have a local player who's been doing really well with Overlords, Enigmatic, and Modern, as long as they don't play against the card Counterspell. Pass this deck on of yours onto them. It's like very cool. Yeah, Enigmatic Incarnation is not a card I have a lot of experience casting, but very cool. Grimace, 2 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Lost the die roll that game. Okay, so I'm bringing in Rest in Peace. I'm bringing in Stony Silence. I'm bringing in Seal of Primordium. I might get the Scions? I've never done that with this deck, but it's also not very common. I have 11 sideboard cards to bring in. Your Rest in Peace is a lot. The card is very good against them, though. Even better with the Emerys that they're playing now. Yeah, I think I want to have 3 Destiny Spinners. I feel like I need to play the Leylines for Leyline Binding and for Nykthos. If you board out the Scions, you have to edit the stream title. Oh, we still have Domain. Yeah, the Blood Moons are not bad either. You're not wrong. The Blood Moons are also pretty good. I don't think I'm bringing them. I think we just go down 2 Abundant Growths. There's no room for Solitaire Confinement. Solitaire Confinement is very bad. It is good against no deck in Modern. Against Boros, they have access to 4 main deck Static Prisons. They have access to a bunch of Cyborg Thraben Charms, so it's like just not a good thing to be in on. Dimir has Sink into the Stupor. The majority of the other decks are just kind of ignoring it. I think it is actually good against no deck. The blue Flash Enchantress. Yeah, I was thinking about a more blue-based build with like the Storm card. I think I should play Sythis first. Could Grixis Wizards playing Fatal Push be an answer to Flage? So Fatal Push is not a good answer to Flage. They get the ETB. They get the initial cast trigger. They get to escape it again. It would have to be something like, Cling to Dust, Damping Sphere. Let me see what my next card is. since I'm not double spelling. Yeah, I'll just Stony Silence. You know, Cling to Dust, Leyline Binding, you know, exile stuff. I was actually splashing for 3-bin Charm in a build of Wizards, and like you have all your like Otter of Bolosses, Augur of Bolosses, Stepcasters, Tamiyu. It wasn't very good. Or at least the mana felt pretty bad, and then I also felt like I was pretty obligated to play Flage myself, which felt a little bit weird. But I don't know, maybe I could circle back to something like that. So definitely just going to play the Sanctum Weaver here. Start playing multiple spells a turn. They'd be pretty scary if they could activate it. The point you could just go Wizards. Yeah, you have to if you want to have white cards in the deck for sure. I did try Jeskai Wizards. Not exactly sure about the archetype overall. Okay, so this costs 4 mana. So I think I'll just hold it up and cast it on their turn. I probably want to just get rid of the Damping Sphere, right? Take 7 here. 8 if they animate the Nexus. I think they were trying to cast a second spell here, and they were maybe getting got by the Damping Sphere. Not really sure. Either way, it seems to be a very commanding first match for us. Right. I like really like this deck pre-Image 3 and post-Image 3 with Nadu, with all the Rathas guys. It kind of seemed like this deck was dead, but now Nadu's gone and Rathas guys are gone. And like Boros, Dimir, Domain, Zoo seem to be like such a big part of the metagame for this deck to like feast on. It's pretty exciting. A Supreme Verdict, Prismatic Ending, Leyline Binding build is correct in this metagame. They basically every build, every player is playing that kind of build now. Yeah, we'll keep a binding here, which means that decks like Affinity have started to rise up, which are no longer having to fear Rathas guys so much. Apparently, Affinity is pretty good against both Dimir and Boros too. Kind of a similar. I guess this is the Enchantress Affinity deck. Is there new Image 3 tech for this deck? I think I have 0 Image 3 cards. We do have Overlord of the Hauntwoods. We do have some Bloomburrow tech. Sorry, I keep going every set Bloomburrow Duskboard. Bloomburrow was just so good. Yeah, actual 0 Image 3 cards. This is maybe the first time I've played 0 Image 3 cards since Image 3 came out. Let me do that as the clickbait. 0 Image 3 cards. I'm sure they didn't give a ton of enchantments. There were a few. There's like that blue one that like flickers and copies a different enchantment. I really thought about playing it in this deck, but I think that card is bad. Yeah, Verdict is definitely better against Dimir and Domain. Okay, so my opponent's playing probably Murktide or something very Murktide adjacent. Maybe a Grixis build of some kind. I think I want to play like 2 Rest in Peace probably. We just go down 2 Overlords against like the Unholy Heat deck. Well, like 3. Got a Destiny Spinner instead. This guy's got a little bit of Dimir since he started playing more Arclight, less Murktides. I think so too. Although like can't be counted on Verdict is like Verdict is crazy against Dimir. Dude, I think we've had Leyline in all of our opening hands today. Won't complain about that. No rooms. Okay. Since we had our conversation about rooms, I have gone through and I've now reread every single room. And I think there's very few that have any like real potential in the format. Thoughts on Solemnity with energy matchups? I would never, ever, 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 ever register Solemnity. Probably. Be a little dramatic, I guess. But I don't know. So here's the thing, chat. We keep having this conversation about energy as a archetype or whatever, and how a lot of people are like, they did not give us any way to interact with the energy mechanic. The energy mechanic is impossible to interact with. We have Sun Cleanser, we have Solemnity. But y'all, like, I just don't feel like you're losing to the mechanic so much as we are losing to, we're losing to Ring, Flage, Blood Moon. Yeah, Ring, Flage, Blood Moon. The mechanic is they have a bunch of cheap, aggressive creatures that are powerful, and you can kill them with creature removal spells and sweepers. That's how you fight the mechanic, is you just sweep the board. I very rarely am I sitting like, oh, damn, I just wish I could get rid of those 5 energy counters. You know what I mean? So, I think I'm going to name green this time. Don't think they're going to Blood Moon me if they have Den. Deck Tech for Frieza. This is the Enigmatic Incarnation deck. Yeah, this is the room that I think is kind of cool, the blue-red one. And also I'll say this, energy is like our best matchup. I don't know if we have a better matchup than energy. Maybe I should have baited with Rest in Peace here. This is Invert Polarity? Flare of Denial, okay. Okay, I don't know what Trace of Abundance is. Okay, 2 mana, Enchanted Land has Shroud. When it's tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional mana of any one color. Okay. So this deck looks very slow. Very, very slow. This deck looks like everyone at FNM is playing energy, and they have built this deck entirely to have game against energy, which is, you know, valid. Valid for sure. But this deck probably could never beat Eldrazi, could never beat Titan, could never beat Goryo's, could never beat Storm. And maybe that's okay, you know? That's kind of what these like 4 or 5 color decks, like their role has been in historically, is just I'm good against the creature decks. I don't really know how you would make. Wait, this card has Flash. That's so cute. So there's this one. Gross Bill with the 7 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Energy can you fully utilize the best 2 spot removals in this format though, Prison Galvanic. I mean, I agree with that too, but like one problem with this argument also is like, if you want to interact with the mechanic with like Solemnity or Sun Cleanser, Static Prison still just exiles these cards, and then they get energy to pay for the Static Prison. Okay, kill my Sythis. Do you think the Landfalls do energy deck from MH3 start could be good? Landfalls do energy. I don't remember, when I was playing the Landfall deck, I don't really remember it being very energy focused, but maybe I am misremembering. Right, they have 3 cards in their hand. That is a nice pickup. Let's see, so that's 6 mana, so if I cast this... Yeah, it seems like I should just play the second Sanctum Weaver first. Maybe it's just Leyline of Abundance, makes your creatures tap for 1 more, while adding 2 Devotion. Well, it only makes 1 creature tap for 1 more, and it's a creature that already taps for millions if you get to untap with it. You know what I mean? It's important to always save like 1 enchantment in your deck for Enchantress's Presence or Sythis, by the way, so we're not going to be casting this one. We are going to be attacking for 8, putting our opponent down to 3. I didn't realize. Wait, where did this card go? I didn't realize this card had flash. I still think it sucks though. Yeah, this card does not seem very good. Better though. Maybe like a wilderness reclamation shell. What's this? Seems like they're kind of in on Unholy Heat here, and maybe like just can't kill my 3 toughness Destiny Spinner because they're rest in peace. Okay. Blue-red players, what is going on with y'all? So do I let them draw a card? Don't think so, because I just wanted them to not be able to answer my Sanctum Weaver. That's a nice one. Dude, imagine this card with Wilderness Wreck and Icefang Quaddle, and then you flash it in. Ping, ping, ping. I draw the cards. Wait, you cast Orcish Bowmaster? Alright, well, this is looking pretty good. Alright, easy peasy, squeezy, 2-0. We did play against Izzet and Scales, but I don't know, it's... when your deck is kind of metagamed and you play against some random stuff and you win anyways, that is a good sign. But if I could just get 3 energy opponents in a row, that would be great. When the draw gets Nykthos, hopefully this is our Boros opponent. I'm going to keep this hand. Or should I mulligan the opening hand and then go to keep this 6 card? Wish that this was a Utopia Sprawl, of course. We are up against Boros. And we did find a Utopia Sprawl. I think I'm going to name green, because I want to be able to Nykthos Overlord and potentially Surveil with this Misty. Wait, am I supporting Ringband? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. If I had to vote for it today, I would vote for Ringband, yeah. But it's also I don't want to spend all day talking about it because it's just not on the, you know, Wizards is very much seeming to be sticking to this scheduled BNR stuff, which means talking about it is pretty pointless until something might actually happen, you know. I feel like Boros would go back to Fable to place Ring before the one white glitter. Yeah, you play Ranger Captain too if like combo is really popular. Alright, hit a Galvanic Discharge, maybe. Another copy of Ocelot Pride. Do you think we're getting a little overrun here on the draw with our kind of weaker hand? Yeah. Game 2. So I want to bring in like 1 Rest in Peace for Flage, I think. Over 1 Destiny Spinner and click Submit. What's been my favorite meal from Factor? I mean, honestly, most of like the chicken dishes taste pretty much the same, but it's just been very good to like post-gym chicken, microwave, eat, sleep. Do you think any of the revealed Marvel cards have modern potential? Captain America's not that bad. It's not that bad, but it serves a lot of mana and kind of hard to cast. I don't know if I've seen all of them. Like Storm is not going to be modern playable, but Storm is very cool. Are they modern legal? So there are going to be modern legal Marvel cards. I don't think we know if the Secret Lair cards that have been spoiled, I don't think we know if those are going to be modern legal yet. We have to kind of wait and see if they're printed in the set, right? Yeah, I think this is our first deck since MH3 came out that contains 0 MH3 cards. I think we've come close once or twice. Maybe we should bring in some Seal of Primordiums for Static Prison. F2P with the 13 buttons. Thank you. Welcome back. All right, Johnny. Two energy in their pool. So we can go Sythis into Presence. There's a leyline for our Scion. When was the last time you played a modern deck with 0 Modern Horizons cards in it? So there was a yeah, I'm gonna have to sorry, let me take this turn real quick. So we go cast the Leyline of the Guildpact. Draw 2, and then we have Nykthos for green available for a lot. Which I think I'm just gonna lead into instead of I'm also gonna get a basic forest just in case they like kill this and blood moon me, which seems very unlikely. So we had this artifact-based Semblance Anvil combo deck that had no Modern Horizons cards in the 75, except for one Altar of Dementia in the cardboard as an alternate win condition to Grinding Station. And that was the only Modern Horizons card in the whole deck. And it wasn't even like super mandatory. Yeah, I think I want to play at least one seal. Maybe I should just cut all but one Destiny Spinner and play 2. Because I feel like we can win the game with these pretty often. No, the boards are going to get kind of gummed up. We're going to need the second Destiny Spinner. Let's just play 1 seal, 1 Rest in Peace. I think we need the Overlords for Domain. Although maybe on the draw. Yeah, maybe on the draw we want to go down 1. Let's do that. Okay, final answer. Yeah, I think that was probably the closest. I don't know that I've played a deck without a single Modern Horizons card. At least not to my memory. Okay, we have a Leyline in this opener, which is obviously good. Altar doesn't count as a Tempest card. Well, I mean, does Counterspell count as a Modern Horizons card? Rip taking care of a Johnny is kind of sick. Yeah, we have 1. I don't know how much we really care about a Johnny. Maybe a little bit. There it is. Dingo Splinter Twin. Very good start on the play for my opponent. We may need a Scion quicker than later. Seems like I need to just play a Sythis here. Has Overlord been good? Yeah, I've been liking Overlord. I've been casting it on turn 2 with Nykthos, Utopia Sprawl, Leyline. Just like 5 mana cast on turn 2. Am I dead on turn 3? This might be the Boros Perfects to kill me turn 3. I guess my opponent can. I'm not sure. I think we're dead. Yeah, if only we had Solemnity. Well, I think token dying still flips a Johnny with rep. The token doesn't go to the graveyard. Tokens do go to the graveyard. I believe that Rest in Peace stops tokens from dying, and Leyline of the Void doesn't. In your Delirium jump build, how often do you have Delirium by turn 3? Probably 95% of the time. I don't know if I can really recall many turns where we didn't have Delirium on turn 3. It's pretty tough to not have it. In fact, if you don't have it by turn 3, either you've been like graveyard hated or you maybe should have mulliganed. I feel like some lockdowns in the sideboard despite being so obviously unsynergistic. There's like I think there's almost 0 chance we can play lockdown in this deck. Lock down exiles 16 of our own cards. 20 of our own cards. I don't know if you want to count these. If you don't count these, let's be generous. Let's not count growth. 16? Seems not correct. Tokens are explicitly not cards. Yeah, what does Rest in Peace say again, though? It's whenever a card or token. Should probably have had this up already after the 2-minute tank. Okay, there we go. On the face of the 50 months, I say hello to thee as well. Good morning to everybody. Maybe Yawgmoth? They're a bit weaker to Rest in Peace than they used to be, for whatever that's worth. The 3-mana Wrath from MH2, the time counter one. That one's kind of interesting. Yeah, Poetic, the energy killed the energy killer. Is what it is. If I hadn't taken it out of the stream title, we surely would have been fine. Alright, so just gonna Sanctum Weaver this turn, and then we should be popping off, as the kids say. Next turn. We'll see if they have a Yawgmoth. See if they have Yawgmoth and then Birthing Ritual into Blood Artist. Green for a Strangle Root Geist. Remember back in RTR Innistrad Standard, I attack 2 Strangle Root Geists into my opponent's Huntmaster of the Fells. He blocks both Strangle Root Geists with the Huntmaster and the 2/2 token. Both of my cards undie. He reads the card, like audibly upset that they undied. The next turn, plays another Huntmaster of the Fells. I attack with both of them again. He blocks both of them. I activate Gavony Township. Now my String Root Geists are 4/3s against the 2/2s. He goes, wait, where did they get counters from? Remind me where, I think he said, remind me where these got counters from the first time? And I said, the Undying. Remember that? It was very funny he forgot after, like, just the turn previously he had been very upset. Alright, so double Bowmasters here is going to be a lot of damage. This is a 1 ping. Seems like we're not going to get to do any more than 6 mana with this one. So we're going to need to find a Scion, potentially. I think I'm going to go ahead and Surveil. It's like drawing a card, but I don't take 2 damage. Alright, take 4. Alright, so I have 5, 6, I have 6 enchantments, so I could make a 7/7 Destiny Spinner potentially. Casting it at least seems fine. I may have to chump block their Orc Army though at this point. Should be able to play this, which can chump block and can also this has 3 toughness, so it's not dying to the Bowmaster anyways. Oh shoot, obviously I can't Destiny Spinner. Because their Orc Army is just too big. So I have the option to keep going. Kind of a bummer to not draw a Leyline Binding or a Scion in the top 23 cards. I think I'm just gonna pass and hope they don't Yogg me. And if they don't Yogg me, if they attack with the Orc army, I can Destiny Spinner them. Does Destiny Spinner Nykthos make infinite mana? No, this doesn't untap the land. If it did, it would be so good. Giralf's Messenger. So now they could hit Yogg off the Birthing Ritual, potentially. So we need to dodge that. And if we do dodge that, I think they're dead. Yeah, I'm not sure if this does anything relevant, really. Let's see, I have 4, 5, 6, 7. So they do sack, like, really immediate. Okay, there. That was a fast sack. Okay. So down a game against Yogg. I'm going to bring in my Rest in Pieces. Might just be Rest in Peace for Overlord. Okay, let's go. How many 5-mana value things do you need for this deck? Is it Beans deck? I don't think we ever did Enchantress Beans back when we could. Stony for Haywire? I don't know. I mean, I guess one Stony for Haywire and Cauldron isn't like, it's not that bad. But also Rest in Peace gets Cauldron, so probably not. Well, we lost to Energy. We kind of stumbled game 1, and then they had a turn 3 kill on the play game 3. We also play Seal of Primordiums too. Yeah, maybe like 1 or 2 seals would be good. I'm gonna keep this. Obviously, we need to draw a land, but if we do draw a land, we have Leyline Scion to protect our Sanctum Weaver, and we have the Growth to cycle. Ding, ding, ding. Probably putting that in the yard. Solitary Confinement Package, not Pillow 40 enough. Well, I would say that there's maybe nothing else that's more Pillow 40 than the Solitary Confinement Package, but I would maybe say that the Solitary Confinement Package is good against no deck in Modern. I think that there is not a single deck where that where Solitary Confinement is good. I think it's against Boros, they have so many answers to it. Against Dimir, they have Sink into the Stupor of the main. It just is like so clunky. And like Leyline Scion, honestly, in a big way, kind of does a similar thing, but is like way more proactive and like protects your stuff. But I would say it's certainly very Pillow 40. If I could describe that package, Pillow 40 would be accurate. 2 Thought Seizes, huh? Essence Warden. No, I don't feel like I sealed that one that much anymore. Yeah, we will cast a Rest in Peace. Saving the other one for an Enchantress, of course. There's a Birthing Ritual and a Colony Garden. Getting a Young Wolf, not as powerful as it usually is with Rest in Peace in play. So I might as well activate Nykthos. Yeah, just save this for an Enchantress, I think. Hopefully we draw one of them. End of turn court for 1. Presumably going to kill the Rest in Peace. We do have another one. Oh, sorry, that's on their main phase. Then choose not to get anything. We find a Destiny Spinner. So let's go Rest in Peace. Back online. Activate Nykthos. Play the Spinner. Let them gain a life. generously. And then get in for 7. Ever built with Oratog? No, I guess that card's a little before my time. I feel like it's... I have a hard time imagining this card will impress us. Sacrifice enchantment, Oratog gets +2/+2. Yeah, I don't think so. This is a Force of Vigor? Okay, so we've had to play through Double Thoughtseize, Haywire Might, Force of Vigor so far. Ever considered Rampage of the Clans as a finisher in a deck like this? No, of course not. Alright. Triggering the Essence Wardens. Let's see what we draw. There's an Enchantress's Presence. Obviously, maybe not the best timing, since there's now a... I guess it's better for me to... Oh yeah, I won't be able to Presence Leyline then activate Nykthos, so let's just Nykthos first. Seems like I should not lose the Sanctum Weaver to cast the Spinner this turn. They started playing that card very quickly. Oh, okay. I was like, surely they have a Yogg, and then they didn't Yogg, and now they are Yogging. I guess we're pretty cooked. Oh, cool. They responded to the Grazer trigger to draw a land. Opponent's draw will definitely lined up very well against ours. Don't think... I mean, if we could find a Leyline Binding... and they brick on the Birthing Ritual... Yeah, we're gonna play this out. So they sack Young Wolf, which was not undead. They get another Bowmaster, which, makes some sense against my Enchantress's Presence, right? I have 6. I can attack for 7 if I draw a land. Well... they can also draw some cards here. It's free for them to draw the card, too, because they get to gain a life from the Essence Warden, but it looks like they are missing that line, thankfully. Obviously wish I could attack with another land, but Destiny Spinner does not untap the land. We do get to get in for 7. Probably not enough. Still 7 damage. Total. Alright, they're at 8 life points. 3 cards in their hand. Brick. Okay, so my Destiny Spinner is going to be dead. We do have an Enchantress Presence in play in like 12 mana, so... like, literally, we have a lot of good top decks. And they only have 1 Bowmaster now. Put another -1 counter on this land, that's funny. Okay, big draw. Okay. Yeah, I want to be able to find Leyline Bindings, potentially plural, so I'm just going to filter like this. Should I have surveilled first? Maybe I should have surveilled first. Kind of a heartbreaker. I think we're packing it in now. All right, hot start into 2/2. It also doesn't trigger your enchantresses, so it doesn't even really have like much synergy in the deck. Okay, on the play and the blind. Let's definitely keep this. Looks like Prowess is winning, but only by a little bit, so get your votes in. It says, oh god, this is going to be embarrassing. Last seen 4 days ago on Belcher. It may be embarrassing for me. Just trying out the deck. Okay, let's see. Probably not Belcher then. Yeah, I know I just misspelled delirium every time. I just always put an E instead of the I there. You would think after typing it 1,000 times, I'd know how to spell it, but I just always fuck it up. Will there be a VOD of the YouTube challenge your top 8? It's gonna up to my editor. Usually those videos take a little bit longer, but he usually puts them up. I would imagine it'll be up soon. Okay, opponent reveals Devourer of Destiny. Yeah, no joke, just dyslexia. All right, trigger the Devourer. Yeah, I'm going to Vegas. We're streaming today and tomorrow, and then no Friday, no Saturday. Back on Monday. I've been liking the Enchantress deck so far. Stony Silences hopefully will carry us some sideboard game here. I'm glad to have won the die roll, although against a Ugin's Lab Talisman deck. I'm feeling a little less good. Is 8 Leyline Zoo in the pipeline? I don't know. We played a league with it yesterday. It was very fun, but seemed to be like very weak to control specifically. I mean, I don't think it's a deck I would just never play again either. All right, so Overlord will draw us a card, give us domain, give us an extra land, and also give us enough devotion where our Nykthos is mana positive. Not so bad. If I see you Vegas, can I bother you with some Cabal coffers? Of course, yeah. I usually sign a bunch of cards. I don't like to do like the panels or anything, like anything super duper formal. But if you see me, I'll be happy to say hi, sign some stuff or whatever. All right, we'll see who draws more cards. Hope they're not playing too many All Is Dusts. Okay. So let's start off by playing a second copy of Enchantress's Presence. Then I think I'd make white and then Nykthos for green. Well, if I do green first, I can play this Overlord before activating the Nykthos. The thing is, I just really want to have some white mana floating to find some binding, so... And we're going to get to play another Nykthos, so it's just, this should be okay. So there's our first binding. So I'm 1 mana short of going Sythis into Overlord into Nykthos activation. So I think I'm just going to go Sythis into Nykthos here. Finding it might be, okay, so this is 4 or 5. You know, I think it's better to binding the Talisman than binding the ring. This way they just can't All Is Dust next turn. There's a very good chance we can find the second binding also, but just saying no to All Is Dust seems to be the way to not lose this game. Am I competing in anything? Yeah, I'm going to play in the sealed 100K tournament where top 8 make the next Pro Tour. That's the main reason I'm going. And then I think my plan is to like bring a modern deck. I'm probably gonna bring like Blue Belcher or something. And then like maybe I would sign up for like a side event or something. But I think I'm more likely to probably just hang out and enjoy a little mini vacation if I scrub out. I haven't done any prep yet. I actually need to call. Oh fuck, it's maybe I'm too late to do any prep. I'll do a little bit of prep. It's been so busy over here. Okay, we did find our second binding. Finally. All right. That looked pretty good. What is Overlord for? It gives you domain for your 8 domain cards. It gives you 2 devotion. It's hard castable on turn 2 if you have Leyline, Utopia Sprawl, Nykthos. Gives you an extra plan of attack. It draws a card if you have Enchantress in play. Just really ties the room together well, in my opinion. So I'm going to bring in the Moons and the Stony Silences. I think I want to cut the Scion of Dracos. Cut a Destiny Spinner. Maybe 1 Growth, 1 Overlord. Let's try that. Yeah, Duskborn Sealed is the format. I'm definitely gonna build a lot of sealed pools. I'm gonna like study the format. I don't think I'm gonna really have any time to play almost any, but that's usually fine. I usually play very little, limited, and I just study instead of like playing. And that's worked out pretty good in my sealed PTQs in the past. Well, this hand is really cool, but we can't keep. Puts on a mold of 6. I think against a mold of 6, I can afford to keep this slightly slower hand. Has anyone tried Psychic Frog and Domain Zoo? Your man is already screwed up. Yeah, we played against someone who was playing Psychic Frog in Domain Zoo yesterday, and it looked pretty reasonable, I guess. Is Vegas a Pro Tour large con? Worlds is happening at Vegas. So yeah, I mean, higher than the Pro Tour. And it also has, yeah, this was the live vintage cube draft. I think I'm gonna bottom that. Kind of borderline. Deck Faden loves Frog and Zoo. Yeah, I mean, I think Frog seems like maybe better than Bowmaster, better than Brawler. I'm not sure how much you have to alter your mana, but I like that it's another like 2-drop that can theoretically turn on stub too. Frog plus Flay seems like a bit much even for me. Yeah, I would have to just kind of study the mana, but I think it probably works. I mean, you are a Leyline of the Guildpact deck. It's also like just kind of okay to have like a land or two that doesn't tap for Flage, where like for me it's more of like if you play Frog, you probably can't play Arena of Glory in your deck. So you have to kind of weigh how much of a problem that is. But if you have 1 or 2 lands in your deck that don't tap for Frog or Flage, it's just gonna be okay. I think the problem might be the graveyard stock. Maybe. I mean, Flage is a card that you can discard to Frog for value, so that's not nothing. Right, very good draw from our opponent here. Stony Silence would be a great top deck. Ding, ding, ding. And we drew a land. Mark with the 31 months, thank you so much. Welcome back, my friend. Sparrows into Xander's Lounge. Lets you frog and keeps your land flageable. Yeah, but it doesn't let you frog on turn 2, which is the problem. And Holy Heat's kind of interesting. They have a Kozilek's command, which is a nightmare. Oh, they don't. Great. A dream. They do Endotha Steam Vents. Yeah, that makes more sense. They keep a card on top. Then they kill my Sythis again. I think I will not play the second Stony Silence. Obviously it makes this tap for 1 more mana next turn. But I'm a bit worried that they kept all his dust on top. I guess playing the Stony Silence might be better against Devour. It also might be worse. Because if they have Devour, I might want them to get the Stony Silence instead of the Sanctum Weaver anyways. It's a World Breaker. They do go after the Stony Silence. So if we had played it out, they would have hit my Sanctum Weaver. They get to draw 2 extra cards here. I've never thought Flager's that good in Zoo because you don't put that much material into the graveyard. I mean, I think that's a good argument. I think Flager's solid in Zoo overall. Like it's a card that's pretty reasonable. But you probably shouldn't play like more than 2. I think I was playing 3 when I was playing it last, and I didn't like love that number. Okay, so we are almost always going to want to play Enchantress's Presence, Stony Silence. So we go Presence. We have 4 mana, which I don't love that we can't do like an even 4 after that. What happens if I go tap this for white? That's 2. Then I go... Yeah, I guess I can't really Leyline, then activate Nykthos. So let's just plan to not Nykthos here. So I bolt this down to 6, and if they can kill my Destiny Spinner, the game ends. Seems like deploying this Enchantress Presence this turn is like just really important, and I'm gonna go for it and just plan to chump block. And if they've drawn a Kozilek's Command or World Breaker or All Is Dust or Devour, I'm dead. But it's just like these cards are all gonna be pretty hard to beat anyways. Nice. Stony Silence hard carrying. So I think we need to go Sythis into Leyline off of the Sanctum Weaver. Should be able to play this Abundant Growth first. Just mana neutral. Okay, so this Blood Moon seems like a card I want to prioritize being able to cast. I'm gonna name white on the Utopia Sprawl. Okay, so I think I tap this for white. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm gonna play the Leyline first. Yeah. So then I guess we could still even. Yeah, this is mana positive. So I'm gonna name white again. I'm probably gonna tap the forest for red when I cast this Blood Moon, by the way. So name white here. Nykthos for green. Tap this for red. Play a Blood Moon. So now Kozilek's Command is turned off, and their quantity of mana is pretty significantly reduced. We're also going to be outside of just attack range, which is a big deal. So I think we're mostly losing to All Is Dust. If they have 1 too many mana for me to just binding their Utopia Sprawl to stop that from happening. I guess if I binding Utopia Sprawl, then I stop my opponent from being able to Ancient Stirrings into All Is Dust, which is, I think, going to be enough of a reason for me to target that one. Now, I do have 3 Enchantresses in play and only 17 cards in my library, so I need to be like a little bit mindful here. Didn't want to cast Binding before Blood Moon. I still have Domain, because I have a Leyline and basic land. So we're just going all in here. This list doesn't have dust. That's good news. That is great news, even. All right, I passed the turn. All right. Your turn. Ugin's Labyrinth. Take 3. Imagine they cast all his dust after going, this list doesn't have dust. Won the vote. The Prowess deck won the vote. And this deck was pretty sweet. It is a little bit repetitive, but I like this one. Is Valgoth Slayer too weak? Yeah, it doesn't really synergize with anything either. Like it's only good with Sanctum Weaver. It like is it and like a technically spinner too. But I would just basically never play it. If it triggered the Enchantresses, it would be something to consider. What is my opponent thinking about? We could have discard down to all lands we don't die to Immy. Imracool? I don't know how discarding down to all lands. My opponent has typed, well, this sucks. My last card is Imracool. I'm 1 off to cast. Ugh. Makes sense. That would have done the job. So I'm glad we binding that Utopia Sprawl. Yeah, now I see what you meant. For some reason I thought you meant 15-mana Emrakul. I don't know. And then yeah. Discard only lands in hand so they can't deck us with Emrakul. Yeah. Very heads up play. Okay, 3-2. I think Enchantress is viable. Feels bad we lost to energy. I think you will not beat it every time, but I think you have a good matchup. Let's play some Violent Urge Prowess now. Violent Urge, incredibly good in the...